In this video, I'm using a sequence to teach Finnick a pattern that I can use to apply to other scenarios. So what I have here is a target stick set up on a little stand, so it's just kind of hanging out there, easy, right at nose level. And the sequence starts by me asking him to touch the target stick, and he gets rewarded for that. Then I'm going to ask him to walk forward towards a yellow target on the ground, which he's already been conditioned to touch, as well as a target standing up on the stand. And once he does that, I am going to ask for a whoa and a little bit of duration, starting with just a pause and then moving up to 10 seconds eventually. Once we do that, I'm going to ask him to back up until he's back to where we started, near the target on the stand. And I'm going to reward each of those steps. So target touch, walk to yellow target, stand at yellow target, back up, back to target on the stand. And by creating repetitions of this and moving them to all different locations, this creates a pattern that they understand is the same no matter where they are. And I'm doing this to build confidence and context for when I use it to ask him to load into a trailer. They both need to know how to go forward on the trailer, as well as back up out of the trailer, and also stand still, because typically if you are loading them, you need them to stand still while you close the trailer or do the butt bar or raise the ramp or whatever. And I also really like this activity because you can send them to a target and you don't have to necessarily walk with them. In a lot of trailers and trailering, it's a lot safer if your horse will kind of self-load and walk themselves onto the trailer without you having to lead them. And if they learn to do that, then a lot of times it can get rid of that tendency for there to be a little bit of a tug of war. And also just, it helps build confidence because they understand the answer to this question you're asking them. And when they know the answer, a lot of times they get really excited because they're like, oh, I know exactly what I'm supposed to do here to get the reward, and they do it. They're going to be more hesitant when you change the context each time, especially as it gets more challenging. But I recommend trying this in as many different locations and different places as you can. You can even add jump poles to either side to create more of a corridor. You can do like raised actual jumps or do it next to a fence, or here I'm using the barn wall to kind of create a little bit narrower of a chute. And then I've got that little mounting block in front of him to kind of create a hard stop at the end. So you can get really creative with all the different places to practice, and it doesn't have to be my setup exactly. This works for us. You can use different tools, different things that they're familiar with, but just create a pattern that as you build duration is going to work for you for trailer loading or whatever it is that you need them to do. So here, I'm about to start actually practicing it on the trailer. And even though it is very sped up, I lowered my criteria for having him whoa. I'm only asking him to pause for a few seconds. And at one point he does stay on a little bit longer, but I'm not, every time I switch my location of doing this activity, I let the things be a little easier. They're either closer together or I'm not asking for the pause as long. It's also very windy on this day, and so he was really anxious, which didn't help, but he did really well even so. So yeah, this is a great way to build a little certainty in an uncertain scenario and bring some familiarity to something that they might not be familiar with or confident or comfortable with yet. So yeah, I hope this helped, and I can't wait to see how you do.